This is the story of a scandal, of conspiracy and fraud at the top of government. I'm a federal prosecutor of the Republic of Austria. For years, I've been investigating a single case. I've been trying to bring those responsible to justice. But let me start from the beginning. Let's start with the man who seems to stand at the center of everything. This is Karl-Heinz Grasser, the youngest finance minister Austria ever had. In 2002, he was in charge of the privatization of 60,000 public apartments, worth an estimated 2 billion euros. It was this deal that turned into one of the biggest scandals in recent Austrian history, the so-called Buwog-Affäre. After years of investigations, I still don't know for certain how it all began. Most likely when the ministry had to choose which bank was to handle the auction of the apartments. They held an official hearing of experts, but someone at the very top had already made up his mind.
You have to turn this thing around. The minister wants Lehman Brothers to sell the apartments. Period.
What? The hearing starts in 2 minutes. Why should we...
Look, you have two options. Either you and your wife go look for a new job, or you do what you're told. And you'll get a commission. It's your call.
There are people who insist this conversation never happened. Fact is, the bank Lehman Brothers, a personal favorite of Karl-Heinz Grasser, won the contract to handle the auction. With Lehman, they had the right bank in place. But if you want to make money out of a deal like this, insider information is key, especially in a close race between two bidders. The auction of the apartments was secret, but if you happen to know how much one guy is bidding, you can sell that information to his competitor. Someone gave that secret away. Soon after the bank was put in place, a group of men began to meet behind closed doors, all tied to Grasser through friendship and business. The perfect team. Grasser's best friend, the PR specialist, the lobbyist, the real estate tycoon. To make it complete, you only need one more guy, the insider with the crucial piece of information.
4 guys. Everybody gets his fair share. Makes 25% for each one of us.
What? You're basically doing nothing. 25% is pretty generous for just talking to some people.
Come on, guys. Let's discuss this later.
Did you get the number?
It's 960.
It's a lot easier to win a poker game if you know your opponent's hand. That's why it's called cheating. Still, it's a pretty smart calculation. The competitor wants to pay 960 million. You tell your client to add a little, and the deal is yours. And because you're so good at math, you earn 1% commission. That's almost 10 million euros. Good business, right? As long as no one finds out about the cheating. Yet the million-dollar question is, who is the insider? Who leaked this government secret?
For 1 year, Finance Minister Grasser has been trying to sell Buwog. It's one of the biggest privatizations in the Second Republic, the sell-off of 60,000 public apartments. Among the 6 bidders, the Austrian consortium was now awarded the contract. With a price of 961 million euro, the consortium lay only 1.19 million ahead of the second bidder.
Congrats. It took me years to find out about the manipulation and how they managed to hide the money. Because, you don't want those millions of euros showing up in your tax return. So they got creative.
We can celebrate later. once we have the money in our pockets. That's all on me now.
Man, that's basically your only job here.
Right, and I have a plan. All the money's in Vienna now. We have to get it to Cyprus, unless you want to pay your taxes here. I'll send your money via Delaware to the bank in Liechtenstein.
And finally, our friends at the bank bring the money back to Vienna. Pretty old school.
I just think it's beautiful if one isn't envious, right? I'm from a small business myself. My parents...
While all this was going on unnoticed, Karl-Heinz became a true hero. Everybody loved him, and nobody would have believed that he was capable of being anywhere near such dirty business.
That really annoys me. If you are successful, you should earn money and you should be able to show it proudly.
It worked like a charm. But what goes up must come down. The financial crisis of 2008 shed light on all kinds of shady deals. I got lucky when one of the guys, the lobbyist, lost his nerve. He declared his share of the deal to the financial authorities to avoid prosecution for tax fraud.
Accordingly, Maischberger and Hochegger have not paid taxes on the commission they received in connection with the sale of public apartments. The apartments were sold under Finanzminister Karl-Heinz Grasser.
Tax fraud is one thing. I was interested in a more serious question. What did they do to earn the money in the first place? Believe it or not, they didn't have an answer.
But what was my service? For who?
Your service was, Now I'm totally confused because of the other thing. Because I have...
Yeah, please think for a moment.
Yeah.
If they ask me tomorrow, the other thing, I don't have any.
Not a single. I don't have an answer. At the very top, there is someone who's pushing things, who hates you and doesn't like me either. He has the entire Department of Public Prosecution concentrated on... I'll just refer to what I've already said. That's how it is and always has been.
Grasser is to be destroyed, and Maischberger
Clearly,
is to be
these
destroyed
hunters
at all
stop
costs.
at nothing. You just have to remember very little.
That the country is that corrupt, works so shitty, and is controlled...
They know pretty much
so
everything.
Makes me
That means every single Skype call, also with Ernst, was tapped. That also means that my testimony was false.
Well, now I'm super naked.
So we thought we had this thing covered. The house searches, the interrogations, the wiretaps, the documents in my office stacked up to the ceiling. Clear case, huh?
Listen, I always said you'll never get me. I did nothing wrong.
I'm just doing my job here.
Well, I hope it pays well at least. After all those years, the interrogations, the raids, those mountains of documents that have led you nowhere, you still don't even consider being wrong? How can you be so sure?
This is the story of a scandal, of conspiracy and fraud at the top of government. But one question remains. Who's the insider? Was it someone in the ministry? Maybe even the minister himself? Was it a mere coincidence that one of Grasser's best friends, his best man at his wedding, suddenly turns up with classified information worth millions. A piece of information only he and a few other officials had access to. I've often dreamt about taking this to court.
The attorney reads the indictment.